Good afternoon, Big Brother fans. It is Sunday, August 4th, and I'm going to do a quick little update because I'm out driving, and why not? So we'll give you a quick one today, maybe a deeper dive, longer one tomorrow morning. We'll have to see what's going on, but figured I would catch you up. The last time I talked to you was before nominations on Friday. Nominations did happen. They were indeed Angela, Kenny, and Tucker. So, those are your nominees. The plan, I believe I talked about the alliance between with Cedric, Kenny, and Tucker. So Kenny and Tucker are plant nominees. The idea was to get out Angela, and we'll see if that's what happens. We'll wait to get there yet. We're still quite a few days away. The Power Veto was held. Competition was held. They drew names. I think Mackenzie and Leah were the two extra players. They did the Power Veto yesterday on Saturday, and the winner was Tucker. So Tucker was the winner. There was a bit of scurrying right after the Power Veto meeting, or right after the Power Veto competition ended, because Tucker apparently implied that he wanted to play in the AI arena again, so he was going to use the Power Veto on someone else. Turned out he was basically just saying it to stir things up. In reality, he's going to use it on himself, and he wants Cedric to put up Mackenzie in his place because he knows she has a power, and he wants to force that power out. Also, speaking of powers, and this is going to I'm not going to give you all the names at this point. I should just write down every name, but Quinn's power has been outed some more because Tucker told Cam, and I think Cam told Cedric. Point is, a ton of people know who has the power, who has the second power, and now at this point, now we have people that know both powers and who has them, right? So Cedric is seriously at this point now contemplating, because of pressure from Kenny and Tucker and others, but Cedric is seriously considering putting up Mackenzie. He says Mackenzie had promised to save him next week with the power if he got nominated somehow. But that's one of those rare, that's a lot of extenuating circumstances. You've got to be nominated first of all, and I guarantee you, if it was Mackenzie next to Cedric somehow, Mackenzie's saving herself, right? So that was kind of a weak promise, and frankly, I'm sure production is excited to have the power exposed. I think I said it. In a previous little podcast that I bet you money that they're going to find a way to force Mackenzie's power, to one of the powers to be outed this week, and then they'll do the other one next week. I mean, I realize that this seems natural the way it's working, but it is awful convenient too that very likely Mackenzie is going to have to use her power on Tuesday or on Monday to save herself, and then America will get to vote to pick for the replacement, right? So that's going to happen more than likely. Cedric is telling people, Chelsea had been pushing for someone else or hopeful, but Cedric is telling her that the House really seems to want Mackenzie to go up, and Chelsea had counseled him earlier, right after he won head of household, that he should do whatever the House wants, not make waves, so go with the House. So Cedric is throwing those words back in Chelsea's face and saying, well, the House wants me to put up Mackenzie. So that's probably what's going to happen at this point. But we have some time until tomorrow. Other than that, there's more shifts in alliances. There's things that have gone on. Not shifts in alliances per se, but just, it's people are still feeling their way around each other. Joseph doesn't like Rabina. Joseph also, I think Joseph is kind of falling out of favor with the fandom. He's a bit this is, and I don't want to project my own personal opinions on him. I really didn't. I thought Joseph was good with people, but there's been just the people he doesn't like in the House kind of is turning some of the fans against him because they like the people that he doesn't like. But also, for example, there's this, what's it called? The damn alliance, this big alliance that they've got going that he's a member of kind of, but not really. And he doesn't know that he's really not a member of it. And they're kind of, what is the damn alliance? I can't think of the name of the alliance right now. But anyways, it's just one of those. Joseph isn't quite in the know as he knows. But on top of that, here's another angle. Joseph and Quinn are like, they confess to each other what super fans they are. They showed someone had one of the other Twitter accounts had posted a clip of Joseph and Quinn talking about being super fans and how they can't admit to things and how they know that they're not supposed to ever, that you shouldn't say you're throwing a competition. You should always say, oh no, I'm trying for it. You just don't want to give the impression that you're willing to throw competitions. And they brought up, Rob has a podcast and Taryn doing deep dives and things like this. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, that's okay. This is just, they are definitely hardcore super fans, probably harder core than me in some ways in the way they analyze things, but they're also younger than me. They're a different style of super fan, I guess I should say. I'm old school super fan, and maybe they're new school super fan. But the point is, they do super deep analysis on gameplay and the way they need to do certain things and all of this kind of stuff. And as a part of talking about this, Joseph brings up to Quinn, he says, by the way, do you have the other power? And Quinn just straight up says no. Now, hardcore gamers would say, you don't admit you have the power, right? Right? You shouldn't be admitting it unless you're doing it, this is your ride or die, one person that you're going to share it with that you trust implicitly without question, which I don't think Quinn does trust Joseph. He also knows that Joseph, again, is a super fan because they just revealed it. So, Quinn denies it. The problem is that Joseph knows he has it. And so, they promise each other loyalty and all this kind of stuff, but Joseph knows that Quinn is lying to him right now. So, how good of a relationship is that between Quinn and Joseph? I would think that Quinn would be, or Joseph would be putting a big mark next to Quinn's name. Like, all right, he's a super fan and he's lying to me. I'm going to have to get rid of him. That's how I would see that if I were Joseph. There was also Kenny talking to Quinn about joining an alliance with maybe Tucker and Cedric, right? So Kenny's out there trying to add people onto this alliance, adding layers, right? We talk about layers and the onion and all this with alliances. So that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to add people to their alliance, which they can then get rid of. There's a lot of stuff going on, as I said there would be, and a lot of people feeling each other out as far as these relationships. But in the end, I still think that Angela's probably going to go as of right now. But again, I said but again twice in a row. But just keep in mind that it would appear that we're going to see Kenny, Mackenzie, and Angela on the block, and one of them has to win the AI. So the question being, go with it. What if it's Mackenzie versus Kenny? What if it's Mackenzie versus Angela? What if it's Kenny versus Angela? They haven't figured it out yet. I would say that Angela's the likely to go, but I don't know. Not real sure right now if that's going to happen on Thursday. Definitely there are options out there, and I wouldn't be making any bets right now. I would not be making any bets on who's going to go. I'm pretty sure that it's going to be those three. I'm pretty sure that Mackenzie's going to get put up there. Oh, I'm sorry. Ignore everything I just said, folks. I'm not going to delete and restart this, but that's right. Mackenzie's going to save herself. So, that's duh, Mike. That's the reason that she's doing this. Okay, so those of you that have been screaming at your devices for the last 2 minutes while I went down this whole road of speculating how if Mackenzie would be safe. Mackenzie's going to save herself. So then that brings up the question of who's America going to pick for a nominee? I don't know. I really do not know. I would say that Tucker is safe, obviously, and Cedric can't go up, and MJ will be safe. So who of the remaining people could be the nominee? And I'm just looking at the list, and I just don't know who America doesn't like more than obviously the TV. And we're talking about the TV fans here, by the way, because that's who really matters, is the TV fans, because the online fans, sorry, it doesn't really matter what we know or don't know. The TV fans are going to be one that rule this, and so you have to look at the TV edit. How's the TV show being edited? Who's being negatively portrayed? And it has to be a large number of votes. It can't be someone who's not getting a lot of airtime. So in other words, it's not going to be. It's not like it's going to be Takor, right? Takor's probably not going to get it because no one's really seen a lot of Takor. And I bring that up because another thing that got was mentioned by Takor last night when she was talking to, I think it was Chemo, and she was talking about how she's a fan of the show or watching. So she said she was encouraged to watch season 6 of Big Brother Canada. I find that very interesting. That the casting people or whoever told her to go watch this season of Big Brother in a totally different country. So she watched season 6 of Big Brother Canada, where she got she felt very strongly about one of the players, and I'm not going to dive way down into that whole angle of it, but she felt very strong connection with one of the cast members of that season. And she felt like she was directed to do that because the people that cast her saw her kind of like that character. And that character didn't get a whole lot of airtime at least part of the season, and then kind of came on strong at the end. So she feels that that's what they were telling her, was that she may not be getting a lot of airtime now, but maybe it's going to happen later, kind of a thing. I don't know. But she does pay attention to the amount of times that she's called in the diary room, and she knows she's not getting much time in the diary room. And so she's thinking, that must mean that I'm not getting a lot of time on air right now. I agree with that. She's not getting much time on air. And so that means that maybe America's not going to vote for her to get evicted. It's apathy. It's not that people would say, oh, we should get rid of, let's save the person that I want to keep, so I'll vote for somebody else. They just don't know her. So I don't think they're going to vote for her to stay or for her to get put up. So I'm trying to think who they don't like. And I'll tell you what, honestly, because this power is going to get revealed on Wednesday's show, CBS could have a big influence. They now know that Mackenzie is probably going to use this power. And so they can edit the hell out of the next 2 episodes to make someone look really negative and end up on the block, right? So we need to watch the next 2 episodes to see if they throw somebody under the bus that isn't currently on the block. Because that may be their angle to get them up on the block. Yes, keep that in mind, folks. Keep that in mind. Let's think about it, and we'll talk about it more later. That's all I got for today on a Sunday. Again, I don't usually record on Saturdays or Sundays, but I had the time today, so I am doing it. So I will record another one of these, at least one, tomorrow morning. Update you on anything else that I've thought of. Maybe talk about last night's or tonight's show, because there is a show tonight, and have some other thoughts about where I think things are going, right? Thank you for your support. Thank you to my patrons. Thank you to those of you that listen through to the commercials. All of those good things. I will plug the Patreon site if you want to support me. You can go to patreon.com/bbgossip. You can get in at any of the levels, and you can change your amount to $1 a month. That's the minimum. But you can't sign up for $1 a month. It's kind of a weird thing they got going. And I don't mind telling you how to work your way around the system. If you can do it, do it. Any of your patrons of other places, I don't have any specific tiers that give anything special. Other places do. But for me, get in the door, change your amount to $1 a month, and then you're a patron, and you get all the rights and benefits. But those people that pay more than $1 a month, I love you guys more. Just know that, right? All right, that's it. I'm done talking. I'm going to go do my honey-do list of things that I've got to get at the store and stuff, and then I will be going back to home and working on my chores around the house and trying to keep up on what is going on inside the Big Brother house. And again, I'll fill you in on that tomorrow. All right, take care, everybody. Thanks again. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.